the end of the day, I know who I am.
Welcome. You are listening to
Rainbow Table Talk.
Hey,
I get my beat on.
what's going on, Kay?
What's going on, my love? How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm solid.
All right. Well, welcome to another episode of the Rainbow Table Talk.
Rainbow table talk. Yeah, you can even get the whole rainbow table talk without pulling the cup. What you got in that cup today?
Today's drink is brought to you by Crown Royal Peach, mixed with peach, sweet tea, and a squeeze of lemon.
Sound like an adult drink. It doesn't sound like Arbor Mist.
Summertime at the barbecue.
Mm.
So, first of all, hug. I love you.
Yes, give me love. I
right.
gotta get that love in.
So,
Yes.
super excited today.
Yes. Stoked.
We have Aaron and Kamala Williams with us today. And listen, so this couple, I love them because I've only met them on Facebook, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're the kind of couple that when you see them on Facebook, you be like, I want a relationship so we could like double date and hang out. Like they cool.
Yeah. You
Like,
just go find somebody.
Exactly. Like, I need to find somebody so I can hang out and be on the type of time that they on. Because
Yeah.
they got their stuff together. So
Mhm.
I am excited about bringing them on and sharing their journey with you and with us and learning and talking and all that good stuff. So
Yes. Excited.
without further ado, we want to present to you Aaron and Kamala Williams.
Woo!
Good evening.
If I had some maracas, it would be going here.
We should have had some of that jazzy opening music y'all had.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you see it sometimes. We got Duchess will hook y'all up.
You know it. I got it. I'm ready. How y'all doing?
Good. How about you guys?
Awesome. So we're gonna let you. I gave you a slight introduction, but tell the people who you are.
So I'm Aaron, to some Pastor Aaron, and I'm a Jacksonville native. I've never lived anywhere else. Also work for Fanatics. Actually, just got a promotion at Fanatics, and so I am the associate program manager for global inclusion. So I'm really excited about that.
You better come on. Wait.
Not global.
Global, yeah, because Fanatics, we're getting ready to be in China. We're in the UK. We are all over, and so we really want to make sure that diversity and inclusion is a priority worldwide. So super excited about that position. I actually start not next Monday, but the next.
Let's go.
Before that, I was a customer service manager, operations manager for Fanatics. I've been pastoring for 11 years.
Wow.
And I've been married to this beautiful woman for 7 some years.
Do it, girl. Do it.
Hey, you started with the ring. You started with the ring.
In my spare time, I like to travel. We just bought we love to camp, so we just upgraded to a pop-up camper. For the pandemic, we are huge cruisers, so we love to cruise, get out of the country, so that we have the opportunity to just be, so that's the world map behind us. And like to exercise and just love Jacksonville. Again, I'm a native, always been an advocate for the community. And that's a little bit about me.
All right. Mrs. Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my name is Kamala Williams. Oops, sorry, y'all. I was trying to invite people, so it's playing.
Yes. Hey, come on in.
Come on in.
On my phone.
Really?
So,
Here it comes with the organ in the back.
my name is Kamala, just like the vice president, but my last name is Williams. And I have the honor of being married to Mr. Aaron Williams, and I am the executive operations director of the Williams estate.
You better come on with it.
Yeah, look,
It's the housewife.
you better tell these women out here.
Listen, it's a job, so you got to give it a title, a work.
Mhm.
Hey,
Yes,
it is
ma'am.
a job. So I am the operations director of the Williams residence,
Yes.
and I also am the founder of the Lotus Flower Project.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a Jacksonville native. I've been here since 1989. I am originally from Savannah, Georgia. Thus, if you
Chatham County.
come on, know your county. So if you hear a little bit of a they call it Geechee where I'm from. That's where that's coming from.
Yeah.
A little sounds like a little New Orleans or whatever, but it's good old Georgia peach, and I am sweet.
Yes, ma'am. Now, don't forget. Please tell us about Kamala's Closet that you recently just.
Okay. Kamala's Closet is one of the programs that falls under the Lotus Flower Project, and Kamala's Closet is a gender neutral, gender free clothing closet for all under the LGBTQIA umbrella. It was encompassed and designed for those who suffer from dysphoria and anxiety in regular retail shopping. So we provide you with a retail shopping experience where you are free to be whoever you are and to try on whatever you like and to twirl around in the middle of the store.
Yes.
What you look like. And so that's what we promote, a safe environment, a safe shopping environment, and all of our items are gifted free.
Wow. Wow, that's awesome.
It's boutique style, so it's nice stuff. It's boutique style, so come by, check us out, and give us a visit.
It is beautiful. So you're saying I can come on and get me an outfit and then head on down to Fanatics and get me like a Broncos cap.
Yeah. Put it to the back. Put it to the back. I want to actually pause there, Kamala. What kind of inspired you to start the project? Oh, well, you know it's going to be a good story when somebody starts chuckling like.
Well, there are several people that are near and dear, and yes, we do need donations. Candace Hoffman, we are always accepting donations. Hello, Val J. It was inspired definitely by some folks that are near and dear to me that I saw in early stages of their transitioning, not feeling comfortable in regular retail store, maybe because of the dressing room situation, or have a situation where you're like an almond joy. Sometimes you feel like a nut and sometimes you don't. So maybe you wear a skirt and a button up. And so now you got your button up and your tie and your skirt. Where do you go to try it on? You have a decision. Okay. And so I wanted to promote a space where you do not have to make a decision. Sometimes you can feel like a nut and sometimes you don't have to. And you can put all of that on in one and feel comfortable. You can come out and say, how do I look? You know, as a cis female in the dressing room, there's a bond that takes place. When you went in there with something you knew was too small and you done got stuck in it, you can knock on the door of the person next to you and say, hey, can you help me get out of this?
Yes.
Mom, you were in there.
Trying to put this on, but I was just gonna try to squeeze.
Listen, they didn't have a large, so you went in with that medium. Oh, you really needed an extra large because the large either. Now you got it halfway over your head, and you can't really get over that fat part of your back.
Yeah.
Bonding that takes place in the dressing room where you can knock and say, can you help me get in and out of this? Or would you mind grabbing me another size? Everyone doesn't get that experience. And I wanted to create a space where you have that experience to come out and say, this was too small, or how does this look on me? Or can you bring me another size and not feel a certain type of way? So that we foster that through our volunteers, through the way that we set our clothing up, through the way that the store is set up. We try to foster that idea. Yes, Val J, a medium.
I just want to come to Jacksonville, come to the boutique, try, just say how this look, and then come back, Charles. That's what I want to
come and twirl a little bit. All right, okay, we're gonna hit them with our warm up question for the evening. Get everything down and started and loosened up. Y'all came in loose. I appreciate it. Yeah. Question for the evening. Everybody can answer. In your relationship, who is the little spoon?
The little who?
The what now?
The little spoon. You might need to break it down for him, Duchess. Educate
The little
people
spoon?
what the little spoon is.
So when you cuddle at night, right? Imagine two spoons together, right? That's spooning. There's the one spoon, and then there's the other spoon, and you're wrapped up on each other. Who gets wrapped up?
Okay, so let me just clarify. First of all, my husband's name, y'all call him Pastor Aaron, but his name is Big Aaron.
Big Aaron.
So that answers your question. Little spoon.
There's your answer.
There's your answer.
Cheers.
That's that
Big Aaron ain't no little spoon.
Listen, I'm 5'2". I'm the little spoon by default.
I joined the little spoon crew. You know, it's just something about. I'm 5'10", but it's something about somebody holding your shoulder at night. I don't think.
I'd be like, hey, it's my turn. Can I?
I can only do that, but all night, cut off my circulation. Nah.
Right.
Oh my gosh. All right, that's our warm-up question. So we'll get into it. You guys basically kind of let us know like where you're from and how did you guys meet?
At church.
At your church?
At my church, yep.
Okay.
Sunday.
At my old church.
Pastor.
Bible study? Collection plate going on? Get a little deeper.
Pastor, how she caught your eye, Pastor? How she caught your eye, Pastor?
Didn't quite go that way, but that you asked where did we meet and church.
It was Pastor's appreciation. I made you a pie, Pastor.
Thank you.
It was Easter.
Yeah.
Ooh, Resurrection Day. I tell you what.
Oh, too funny.
Spirit of love just rose up on the inside of me. And I had to,
That message was the best message that day.
when you got to the third day message, what? I had to get up, Pastor.
So like, okay, we met at church, but talk to us a little bit of your early dating. Like, what did that look like for you all?
So, you can talk about that. Our early dating, I mean, we kind of just hit the ground running. So, we dated for a year. I have a rule, and I'm sure she'll share that, that before anyone gets married, they should go through 4 seasons. So I personally will not officiate any weddings of anyone that has not been together or dated for at least a year. She was probably ready on day 1. Okay, she's like, give me a ring.
Somebody please put that in the chat. Put that in the chat. 4 seasons, not the hotel. 4 seasons. Okay.
Not the hotel 4 seasons, but 4 seasons. I just think you need that opportunity. Just like seasons change, we change. And so, and I'm not saying, I want to make sure I'm very clear that I'm not saying that someone can't meet at first sight, get married 3 months later, and last a lifetime. But in my opinion, especially if you don't live together, right? So if you're not shacking up before you get married, there are a lot of things that come into play when you join 2 lives as one. Mm-hmm. Finances, if you have children, we don't, but if you have children, and just living with someone, especially if you've lived alone or you've lived in a roommate situation, like stuff changes.
Yeah.
I still can't get over her leaving her shoes in the middle of the floor and me tripping on them. Like that's still a thing. And so, for some people, it could be a thing that could separate them. And so there's just a lot of learning of each other that you have to do. So that's my thing. So we dated for a year, and that was and we shacked up. Like, one thing you'll learn about me is I'm real. We live together because I respect the word. I believe the word. But I just know Aaron not finna marry somebody he ain't lived with, because that's just a whole nother beast.
Yeah, you need to see how you got to find the shoes.
Yeah. And so, I wined and dined her. I think I still do. I've
seen the pictures you do. She be in them. You see how she showed off the ring earlier? You doing it, bro. You doing it.
That was our dating journey.
So for both of you, I guess, we shared in the first episodes of Rainbow Table Talk our, in a sense, our coming out story. But for you both, when did you become aware of your queerness?
I'll let her go first because I have two stories, obviously.
I don't. Okay, so I'm bisexual.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I ever became aware of my queerness. I just like what I like.
Okay.
So I was probably that queer person that had all straight friends and people were like, no.
Yeah.
So I get jealous like when the coming out monologues and stuff come around because everybody has a coming out story, and I've always kind of just been that person that does what I wanted and was not concerned with what other people thought. I married very early and moved out of the house at 14, so I did not have to please parents, or I did not have a close bond with my brother. I have a 13-month-old brother older than me. We weren't very close. We were raised in different. So there was no one really so I don't have a coming out story. I had a girlfriend, my mother called and she answered and passed the phone to me. And my mama said, it sounded like that girl was right next to you. And I said, and kept the conversation going. So I guess was my coming out story.
That's it. That's
I
it.
got grown. I'm paying my own bills. I've never been to.
What?
So I don't have a coming out. I get so jealous of people who have this whole story because I don't have one. When I tell people, they don't believe me, and then I don't care. So
yeah, we're gonna have to take you to Dunkin' Donuts. You tell them like you came out. Let's see if we get you a free donut or a free coffee or something.
Something.
We had the manufacturer coming out story. Like we just go in the All right. And what about for you, Aaron?
So for me, I guess when you say came out, so at 14, I came out at that time as a lesbian. And basically what happened, funny story, but this girl leaves a message on my answer machine, and I'm old, so it's the answer machine where you can hear it while they're talking. And my mother is walking by, and I guess she played it, but I don't think it really registered to her. And so I remember telling my brother, go tell mom that I like girls. And what does my brother do? He goes in and tells my mom that I like girls. And I still don't think it really hit her until I was moving out. I was moving out with this girl. At least I thought I was going to move out. And I'm putting my stuff in her car. She's come there, and my mom's at work, and my dad's in the house. And he lets me get like half of my stuff in the car. He comes outside and he says to the girl who was older than me, get your car and get off of my property. And so literally I grab what's left, what I can grab, get in her car, and I leave. So that was my coming out story as a lesbian. Almost 2 years ago, year and a half, I began to transition. And so I think when I decided to transition, I didn't really realize that it would be coming out again, but it was. And it was actually more difficult than the first coming out. So I'd like to say I was blessed to be able to come out twice, just because I believe that there are many people who are transgender and identify as transgender, but will never overcome the fear that I was able to overcome. And just want to give a shout out to my brother, Dr. Elijah Nicholas. You can talk to other friends of mine. I had talked about transitioning for years and years, but was just too afraid. I would say by the age of 20, I knew that I was trans. Mm-hmm. Not sure if I knew the exact name for it, mm-hmm. But even though I had friends that had transitioned, my old pastor had transitioned, I never really saw someone that looked like me. And when Dr. Elijah came, to visit, to speak at my church, he had transitioned. he was a pastor before, but I had not seen him speak or preach anywhere. And I literally didn't know the guy. Inboxed him and was like, hey, if God ever lays it on your heart that you want to share the good news again, let me know. And probably sat on that for about 2 months. And then he finally came. And that weekend we had some conversation and some dialogue. And somehow in that moment of meeting him and his energy, I saw me and I was like, you know what? 42, like, I'm not going to get another chance to do this. And when most people know once I put my mind to something, I just do it. And I tell you, probably by that Monday or Tuesday, I had an appointment with a counselor because there's a process to transitioning. Like, people can't just wake up and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to transition, and all of a sudden you get tea. There is an entire process that goes along with that. So that was my 2 coming outs. And even now when you meet every time I see someone that I haven't seen in a while, it's kind of like coming out again. So really, I have to come out daily if I come in contact with someone who knew me before and still recognizes me, if that.
That's beautiful. And I'm familiar with Dr. Elijah. Follow him on Instagram. Very inspirational. So glad to hear that he was part of your story and led you to that space. Like, you have that space where you've come out. This second part of the coming out, Kamala, can you talk a little bit? How was that journey for you?
So this is, I like to call Aaron 2.0, or actually Aaron 3.0.
Big Aaron 3.0.
Big Aaron 3.0. Big Aaron is 3.0 because this isn't his first transition in our marriage. So when I met Aaron, Aaron was close to 300 pounds. So his first transition was bariatric surgery. So he went from, and I'm attracted to plus size. So he went from plus size to a little slimmer. And I was afraid that he was going to get too small, and I was just terrified about the bariatric surgery. But for health reasons, he needed it. And so that version of Aaron, there was the original version I met 1.0 on Easter. And then there was 2.0, that's bariatric surgery. And then 3.0 is Big Aaron. So this is the third version of my spouse since we've been married in 7 years. I've had 3 different spouses in one. So almost like the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. So
you got the Trinity going on over there.
This is the third version.
Work if you want some variety.
So
Gotta keep it fresh.
Listen, he gives keeping it fresh a whole new definition. A whole new definition. So I by the time that he began to transition, first of all, I asked on several occasions in the beginning, was he considering, or had he ever considered? Because I was not reaping any of the benefits of being in a lesbian relationship. Mm-hmm. So I knew that there was something different, and that this was deeper. And so I asked, and originally his response was, I'm all right with the way that I am. And I'm like, okay. So I was already, especially by, me being bisexual, and us never operating as a typical people. We would go out with other people, other lesbian couples, and they tell us that we mimicked a cis straight couple. Mm-hmm. Our roles, relationship, and the way that we conducted ourselves in our relationships, a relationship was just like that of a cis straight couple. So the bariatric surgery was more of a transition for me than the transition. Yes, okay. Because nothing really changed about him per se, but his outer appearance. He's still an asshole when he want to be. Mm-hmm. He's a Taurus, so he's still bossy. He's controlling in a great way, but he is controlling.
So producer is a Taurus, and my son is a Taurus. So I feel your pain. Okay.
Keep me in your prayers.
Oh, producer back here talking about pain. What pain? I'm just saying.
Listen. I often tell people when you see me with something that I have, it's because I've earned it. Please don't be jealous. Please don't be hating. Please, when you see me with whatever it is you see me with, trust me, I have earned it.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a good one. So with that in your journey, so because I know that I've talked to lesbians who have been like, I know I dated a girl, I'm in it for a girl. So Aaron, you really found you the right one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, absolutely. So it's interesting because a lot of times when trans guys are in relationships, and then it doesn't work out, because most don't, because if she were a true lesbian, she shouldn't really be attracted to me. Now, I know some people are going to say, but love is love, and it is. But if I am a woman and I identify as a lesbian, which means I'm attracted to a woman, it would offend me if you were still attracted to me. I'll be honest with you. And I try to tell trans guys, like, you should be honored that she's not attracted to you anymore, because you are a man, and that means that she sees you in the full form of a man. Everything about you changes if you transition medically. So your body odor, your even some of the things that I do now, probably more so than an example is I drink. I probably drink more and try different types of bourbon and whiskey. As a lesbian, I didn't drink that. Like, give me a fruity drink and I'm good to go. So your taste buds, everything about you changes and transitions. And so I definitely hit the jackpot when I married her. And I think that God foreknew, because he knows me, right? He knows me inside. So it definitely worked in my favor. And I it's unfortunate that it doesn't work in all of my trans brothers' favor, but for me, it did. God definitely blessed me.
Oh yeah, you're a winner. You're a winner. You're a winner.
Definitely.
You're a winner. Aaron, can you talk to us a little bit? So you talked about, taste buds change. Hey, I could go for a little bit of a stronger drink now. Can you talk about the process of that transition, to the extent that you can, like when you're going through tea and those different challenges, if there are challenges, if you could talk us through that process.
Absolutely. So a couple of facts that I'll share with you. Most trans people suffer from some type of mental illness. And so they are already, because they've suppressed being trans for so long. Now, not all, I said most, suffer from some type of mental illness. So there's a big stigma on tea. Oh, he taking tea, that's why he act that way, or he's doing this or he's doing that. I went into taking tea with no mental, my old self, my old life was a great life. There is nothing that I regret about it. I believe that I was born to transition. I believe that I had to live as a woman for 42 years in order to be able to tell you that men are treated differently. Men certainly have male privilege when it comes to the workplace, corporate America. Like, it's real. I think that it's a challenge being a Black man versus when I was a Black lesbian. White women didn't lock their doors, even as butch as I was, when I was at the stoplight getting ready to cross the street, versus now they do. So I wouldn't be able to talk about that had I not been born a female. So the transition starts with counseling. First, you have to go to a counselor before you can even get to testosterone. Testosterone affects people in different ways. Interesting enough, testosterone mellowed me out. My coworkers noticed it first. They was like, because I was an aggressive butch. Okay, because they like, people didn't even really see me. They used the she pronouns, but that was really it. Like, I told people at work I was transitioning. They basically said, okay, like they saw me as a.
We been knew that.
Yeah. I've always presented as male. So you start with counseling. I started with counseling. the first day I went to counseling, my counselor said, if it were not for the standards, I would give you the letter for testosterone now. Like, she had no doubt. I was very sure. I mean, it took me 43 years. Let's say I knew at 20. So it took me 23 years to get the courage. When I went, I knew what I wanted to do. But I went through therapy. And then I began testosterone, and I haven't had any issues with testosterone other than some acne that you see on my face, but T has done me well. And unlike some trans people, I never forget my shot. I take my shot every week. So that's one thing of, when you're trans, every week you take a shot, or every other week, depends on some guys, I guess, once they go so long, they can even do it once a month. But the testosterone is what helps my voice. It's what helps the facial hair that I have now. It helps the shape of my face. It'll help my Adam's apple come in. It helps the shape of my body. Weight starts to move to your gut, from your hips and your thighs and your butt. And it definitely helps your sexual drive. It's like a teenage boy that's 13. That's what this 43-year-old man is like. So there are a lot of changes, and emotionally there are changes as well. And everyone experiences them differently. For me, they have been positive. I have had a very healthy and good transition, as well as surgery has went well for me. So I haven't had any issues with my transition, and I've been blessed.
So you said that it mellows you out more, because I know
it mellowed me out.
I've heard that for some people that it can cause more aggression. So what you're saying is, when you trip over that shoe in the middle of the living room,
I'm like, here it is.
You chilled out.
Whereas before, I'd be like, man, how many times I told you about this damn shoe in the middle? Like, that was me before. Now, I just pick the shoe up and move it. Like,
So now, Kamala, you've benefited from this.
Yeah.
3.0.
Right. Don't forget to take your juice.
So, Aaron, you talked about. I know from watching you did a live where you answered a bunch of questions, and I know that was. I think we had just done one episode of Rainbow Table Talk at that time, and I watched it, and I was like, he got to come on the show.
Yeah.
And you talked about that sense of male privilege. And I know me and Kay talked about it on our last show about when you present as a masked lesbian, there's a little bit of I'm more in the boys club. Like I've had experiences where guys in the workplace feel they can relate to me more. So they treat me with a little bit more respect. Now, you said you've experienced that in work, coming on this after your transition, definitely understanding male privilege. So, as a Black male, is there more of a fear for you than there was before?
So, absolutely. Part of what took me so long to transition was the fear of being a Black man in America. And so that probably was 10 years of my hesitation and fear is being a Black man. But it has just like there is white privilege, there is male privilege.
Okay.
And the way that I am treated and the way that white men interact with me now is so different than even when I was a female and a lesbian. It's totally different. There's more conversation. I'm more included in things. It's interesting, and it's interesting because I had to study male mannerism to pass, if you want to use that term. And so in studying male mannerism, and you'll look at this the next time you're in a meeting, but in meetings, men don't wait for permission to speak. If you're ever in a meeting, just observe, men just talk. Whenever they have something to say, they just say it. They ain't raising their hand. They ain't waiting like women do because it's the polite thing to do. That was interesting to me. And so I would go in a meeting and I would watch and I was like, damn, that's true. So guess what I started doing? Just talking when I want to say something. So it's, and nobody says, nobody says anything to you because
Duchess,
you're a man.
Don't fool up with Aaron Duchess now.
Look, I'm about to go to my meeting tomorrow. Look now, watch. I got something to say. And I'm gonna say Aaron told me to do that.
He over there raising hands, doing the slave finger, like, oh,
yeah, exactly, yeah.
I have a question.
Observe it that if you work in corporate America and you have meetings, observe it the next time you're in a meeting. You're gonna be like, damn, Aaron was right. Like,
producer said that she just talks, so I'm not sure. It could be
it's a tourist thing.
It might just be a tourist thing.
Or if she just talks, depending on what she's saying, what Black women get labeled as is aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
We get labeled aggressive, and it stops us from being promoted. So versus a Black man or a white man can interrupt, and he can be totally against whoever running the meeting is saying, and he's being a guy, like he's cool.
And it's simply you're being assertive. You're being assertive. You're trying to engage in the conversation, and then you get labeled as the angry Black woman when you're not.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Someone said that I've been a man all my life, and folks was calling me rude. I get it. That's awesome. So you get to reap the benefits of that in that aspect. Okay.
Absolutely.
But I bet when you go out to a restaurant and your food come out wrong, the first lady speak up for you, don't she?
No, I take care of that.
What?
Oh yeah. I don't play. Now I work in customer service. I consider myself to be a master of customer service. And so, yeah, I expect the same. And so I know the lingo to get what I need them to get done. Yeah, no. The first lady's like, please, not today, please, not today.
Can you at least wait till we get our
That's
food
what she'll
right?
say.
Because I want to food. Can you wait till we get out and then ask to speak to the manager before they bring the check? Now, I do notice that, it was always 89% because, like, again, we have always, I guess, appeared to people who don't know us. It was clear who was the dominant in the relationship. 89% of the time, it was always pretty much you could bank on it. But now 100% of the time, I noticed that when the bill comes out, it always goes in front of him. And before, sometimes it would go in the middle of the table if they weren't quite sure. Most of the time, it would still go to him because you could tell who was the aggressor. One, because typically he orders my food.
Yeah.
So when we go out to eat, when he say he wine and dine, I ain't got to do nothing but show up.
She gonna have to stay.
He say, especially because I can eat. So especially if he taking me out too, and we're like, he has a budget that he wants to stick to. He know to order my food. She'll have. That means we're on a budget. If he says she would like, that means I can add whatever I like later. I know.
You better stop with these gems.
No, if he says he would like, that means I can add something to it. If he says she'll have, that means that's what you get in the night.
Did y'all peep that?
That's his meal.
You see that? Do you see the understanding of each other?
Yes.
That's the love language.
Hey.
I'm getting dating advice here.
Oh, Georgette.
One, because he does not mind. Now, it's not a controlling thing. Because he'll say she'll have. However, if I would like to have more, I can always have more. But he'll make sure and say, put that on a separate ticket.
Okay. I told you you're not having the ice tonight.
Which really doesn't matter because it's still the money I gave her. But if that's what you want to use your allowance on, is to have,
extra cheese,
a whole 2 meals when we just need, like, okay, whatever you want to do.
Sometimes you want the shrimp and the lobster, and they don't get it as a combo. So you gotta order lobster, and that's 2 meals.
And the scallops. Look at producer over there. Producer Put in
Come on.
order.
We gotta go eat together, whoever that is.
What did I say? What did I say on the show? Didn't I tell y'all this is the couple that you want to go hang out?
I tell you what.
And you drop. I think when I first really encountered y'all, I was engaged at that time. I've been through 2 marriages in my in my life. They ain't pan out for me. Probably because
Been there, done that.
listen, and I'm in your group for couples, and you drop gems like all the time that I'm just like, I'm ready for that, Jesus. Whenever you're ready for me to have it, but you can see how you guys respect each other and your roles in your relationship, and that's a beautiful thing to see. It's really a beautiful thing to see.
God does answer prayers. He does. He truly does. I remember asking God to help me. That was my simple prayer. I did not know what that looked like. I was in a relationship and I was covering everything. And there were times where I would ask this particular person, like, I've made the money for the light bill. Can you just back when you had to go downtown to JEA and pay it?
Yeah.
It wasn't automated the way that it was. I'm trying to work and make the money. I don't have time to get down there. And they would give me such a hard time about going to take the money that I've already made. And I remember that day, I said, God, just help me.
Help me.
I don't know what that means. Just help me.
God,
and he sent me a helpmate. He sent me a suitable mate. He sent me a helpmate. He sent me, and this is a conversation that we had when we first met. And I told him, I said, I will let you handle everything. I have one rule. And I guess it's because it's the way that I was raised. As long as the lights don't go out, I'll never question you. And I will follow you wherever you go as long as you lead me right. These lights ain't never been off, and the letter that come in the mail ain't in a red envelope.
Listen,
as long as that takes place, then I will let you take. And he said, it's time for you to rest. Let me take care of you. And honey, okay.
She got the lobster.
Okay. Now don't get me wrong. When we met, I made very good money when we met. And we that job closed out, and that's when he allowed me to break. He said, you know what? If you like to stay home and not go back, you don't have to. Here's what we have to do in order for me to make that happen. I'll have to make some adjustments. Okay, with those adjustments that I need to make so that you can stay home, you can stay home. And that was our agreement. And that's how I ended up coming out of the workforce and being a stay-at-home wife.
So that should come out story.
Yeah.
Come out of the workforce.
in all seriousness, y'all, bow your heads. Lord, help me.
Help me.
All right.
Lay hands on the screen.
I had 2 relationships, one with the male, one with the female, and in both of those relationships, they was always handing me the check. I don't know what kind of energy I bought to where the check was always coming my way.
She's like, I didn't ask for that check. So
I want a check in the middle. I want a check in the middle.
So while we talking about like passing the check, is that a conversation y'all have to have like around gender roles? So especially like in the queer community, sometimes we have to have this whole gender roles or non-gender roles conversation. Did y'all have to have those specifics?
No.
You can see it fell into
Yeah.
He has what they call BDE.
Yes.
I know.
Break it down for me.
Is Val J still on?
That's right. It came. God brought it to me right there.
I'm about to say, okay.
You got it.
When you got BDE, ain't no conversations needed.
Okay, that's it.
It's not to be explained.
So, Aaron, we share something similar. I had gastric bypass a few years ago.
Okay.
And so some of my friends, I'm literally 5'2".
Right.
And so
We did not know.
one day I had my shoes off and they were like, "You short." And like, I've known y'all for 5 years. What do you mean I'm short? They're like, no, you really are short. And I was like, what? And my other friend was like, because you got that BDE. Yes. I am 5'2" and a 6'4" mind. Don't play. I got going on.
Ooh.
Too funny.
That VD, I love it. Oh, thanks, producer. I appreciate you. Time for another drink. So, Aaron, for you, transitioning, you had some issues with the first coming out. So, with the second coming out, how's your family with it now?
Well, for the most part, I don't know. So my mom's good.
Mhm.
She still has her struggles on. It's interesting because transitioning is just tough. And so it's tough for you and it's tough for the people around you, right? Because you want them to respect the transition and get on board immediately. And it always happened that way. My mother has always been on board from day one. My father just jumped on board. My brother jumped on board. I have cousins that have jumped on board. But I believe that, and my mother's friends, interesting enough, started calling me Aaron immediately. My mother will go back and forth, and that's because of a conversation that I had with her early on in my transition. And so my aunt is good. But what happens is when people mess up, so they don't get the pronoun right, or they don't say your name,
Mm-hmm.
I can't speak for people. For me,
Mm-hmm.
either consciously or unconsciously, I back away. So my aunt called out that me and her don't talk as much as we used to. We used to talk all the time. And it's because she's so used to, and she's not doing it on purpose, but my one saying is no one will steal my peace, not even my mother. And so she will say, she's having a conversation and she doesn't mean any harm, but she'll be like, girl, da 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 da. And I'll be like, but I'm not a girl anymore. Right? So when you say that, you send my dysphoria up, and my whole day, like, it's ruined, it's done.
Yeah.
Because and so I finally called her out on it because particularly my mother and my this particular aunt. And I called her out on it, and she said, I'm going to try to do better. I am so sorry. And so you genuinely can appreciate that. Now, I believe, and this is just my belief, I don't know because I haven't had to be around them, but I believe my other aunts still refer to me as she and use my birth name. And so I was just telling my wife the other day, I was like, she was like, it might be tough when you all have to come together, right? And she was like, that's not a funeral. I was like, oh, it won't be tough for me because I will excuse myself. Like, I have no problem. I gives no F's. Like, no one will ever steal my peace. Like, it took me 42 years to become Aaron. And now that Aaron is here, he's not going anywhere. And if you want to be a part of his life, you will respect him. Like, you got to love me enough. I always use the term of dogs. If you see somebody, a stranger on the street, and they're walking their dog, and you're like, and you think the dog is a girl, and you're like, oh, she's so cute. And they say, oh, it's a boy, or even if it's a baby, right? But I like to use a dog because of the terminology. You say, oh, I'm sorry, he's so cute. If you can correct your
immediately.
A dog, a stranger's dog, then why can you not get it right if you say you love me, a person, and want to be a part of my life? So it's my cousins, like I said, at least my boy cousins I know use he, the term, they're all good. My aunts don't really know or care at this point. Like it just is what it is.
Yeah. I find that the older generation, they that can't teach your old dog new tricks kind of deal. Well, you're gonna learn to fetch, or you're not gonna eat your food this week because I listen.
Yeah. And it has to change. And I love how for our viewers here, having the pronouns, or having that was your old life and this is your new life, and developing that level of respect is important, because it needs to form with your new identity, and this is your true identity, not even your new identity, but your true identity, and people need to be a part of that. It can't be a back and forth. You want to have give grace, but so much, before you start, stealing your peace.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
grace was about a year. I gave it, and once my
Yeah,
mother
after
got it
that.
right, once my mother got it right, like that was it. Like,
Yeah.
like okay, y'all got to get it.
Like, hey, she gave birth to me. You got
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's tough. I think your situation changed, and I'll tell you. I'll share a little bit about what's happening now. The further I get into transition, my friends are changing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because when I first started transitioning, my sister told me that she believed, and help me if I'm saying it right, that she believed I would end up living cis. Stealth, I'm sorry. And if you don't know what stealth is basically like, I don't tell people I'm trans. I blend in with the rest of the community. And, if they happen to find out, which most of the time they won't, but if they happen to find out, then yeah, I would tell them. But otherwise, I live as a straight cis man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, because I've been such an advocate
Yeah.
of the GLBT community for so long. But I'll be honest with you, the disrespect of the LGBT community, or should I say the LGB community, will push you to live stealth. And so I find myself now, I literally have probably, I don't know, 20, 25 cis straight men and women that are on my page that have no idea that I'm trans. And so I censor my page. I make sure that nothing is seen by them that would indicate that I am trans.
Yeah.
When I am hanging out with them, I feel so much freer than when I'm with my own community.
Huh. Wow.
And I never thought I would say that, but it's exact. I always feel on edge. I'm on edge. You're going to mess up my pronoun. I'm on edge. You're going to reminisce and say my old name. I'm on edge that you're going to give me away, as people say, spill the tea. Who would want to live that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you that, like, to go a little bit deeper.
The being on edge, too. A lot of times when we're amongst our own people, there's this sometimes spoken and sometimes unspoken competition between lesbians and trans men. Butch lesbians and trans men. Butch lesbians to kind of like want to be like
you don't need to get harder because I'm around. Like, you be you. Like, you're a lesbian. You're still a she. You don't need more masculine to hang with me. Like,
And I think that's more of the education, because with both you have the masculine energy, but I think as we are now providing more education that being trans is not the same thing as I'm a masculine centered woman. That is different than being a trans man. That's two different things.
I'm a STEM.
One doesn't endanger or cancel out the other.
Yeah. I want to wear like button downs with Spanx, so I'm right in the middle.
You're in the middle.
You
know what? It is okay to be in the middle.
Be who you are, yeah.
In the South, I can say I'm guilty of it. I had a friends where they're kind of like in between. So we call them soft studs when I was right? Yeah. We call them soft studs, and I make fun of them. I did, and I had to apologize later, because you know what? You can be whoever the hell you want to be. And if you want to wear a dress today, wear you a dress. If you wear some Timberlands and some jeans tomorrow, do that. Be you. Don't let anyone, including people like me from before, steal your peace. You be you, because I'm always going to do me. I always have,
Yeah. So since your transition, for you both, I know for me, my relationship with God has been more freeing and more real to me since being authentically myself. How do you feel? Has your relationship with God changed from before the transition or after, for both of you, now that you're being authentically you?
Mine definitely has. I think that they can agree. My church can agree or disagree. I think that from my preaching to my praying to my own relationship with him has changed, because it's like He's like, oh, okay, this the real you. So now we can be real. Like now you're really before me naked, Aaron, and I can use you in a mighty way. So mine certainly has changed.
My was a Sunday school teacher, so like in the LGBT community, a lot of LGBT people struggle with their spirituality and their sexuality. Mm-hmm. And my grandmother was the Sunday school teacher, and we used to sing a song that Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. I've never had a problem with my spirituality and sexuality ever.
Awesome.
I always knew that Jesus loved me. This I know. You know why? Because for the Bible tells me so. I've never had an issue ever.
And I think we deal with that. That's really part of the reason why we even started this show to begin with. Me and Kay both went to a Christian school growing up and had to hide our sexuality for fear of being expelled. And we have just seen the level of hurt that is amongst our community due to that. And I'm coming away from whatever my spiritual source is because of people. And that for me is a part of my mental health. That's a part of what makes me me, what drives me to do what I need to do, what causes me to be able to listen to my children, talk to my children, teach my children. And being separated from that was not necessarily because of God. It was always because of people. And so so when they talk about, I'm actually, nobody steal this. I'm putting this on the internet and y'all better not take it.
You only get it one time. After the second and third is somebody else's.
You remember that video came out of the guy and he was in church talking about he was delivered.
Yes.
Yes. With a T, delivered.
I'm delivered.
Shut up on a Honda.
For me, it was always, I want to write a piece about being delivered from people. It was always about being delivered from people, never being delivered from my sexuality, but always being delivered from people. And so it for me is very inspiring to see you. I listen, I done got my vaccine. Y'all got a nursery at your church?
No. We used to have a children's church, but the population of folks with kids has dwindled down.
They come in waves. Y'all families with kids coming. 1 minute we'll have a family and we'll have 15 kids in children's church. All of a sudden, I guess the children going with their daddy.
All right, because I desperately want to come to your church. I've been looking for a church home. I think that's how I met you, Aaron. I think I've messaged you maybe a couple years ago, and because I was like, I'm coming out. I can't go to the same church I've been going to all my life. I need a church home, and I just have been like, I've been Baptist couch Sundays.
Bedside Baptist.
Yeah,
the pandemic only gonna get you so far.
I like this word, and I like the way you talk. And I know it's gonna be free.
Well, I tell you what, our Easter service is in the park, which is a great place to bring kids for the first time. Our Easter service will be at Willow Branch Park.
All right.
And basically, you bring your own food for a picnic afterwards. But it starts at 11. We'll do an Easter egg hunt for the kids, a small one, but we'll also have a Easter egg hunt for the adults as well. So we'll have some eggs hidden that will have some prizes in them for adults. So that will be a great opportunity for you to bring out your kids and have them be a part and listen for Easter.
Somebody got to get a $5 egg.
Sean children sit in service all the time. My children don't sit in service. I got
everybody kids can't sit in service.
Everybody can't sit in service.
We appreciate you because we don't want your children messing up the video. Because they'll go at home trying to listen to the word.
See, they'll come up with the praise team. They'll grab the mic and they'll come up with the praise team.
How old are they?
5 and 4.
My God.
Oh yeah, they're smaller. Okay.
They babies. But I want them to get that word too, and not from the old traditions.
Right.
Like I got 2 kids who at school they'll be like they got 2 moms. Like this is the life that they live, and I actively work on my barber is transitioning, and so I've made it a point to be like, this is Mr. So-and-so. This is Mr. This and that. Even for myself to be like him, I try to make sure that I'm letting them know this is who you are. These are who respect people for whoever they are. Like my son on certain days, he's a dinosaur. Well, if you a dinosaur today, son, I'm gonna call you a dinosaur today. You let me know who you're gonna be tomorrow, I'll call you that. So, I want to teach them to grow up in love for people and respect them for who they are.
Yeah,
I mean, we do. How old is Terrence? Terrence is 5. Of course, his grandma don't play, so he Terrence is 5. Kennedy is about 8 maybe. So we do, and then I don't know how old Lisa's smaller daughter is. Izzy. We do have some small kids, and my voice is so loud that typically they're either engaged or asleep. Like sometimes they get, a lot of times they understand what I'm talking about, So you should try. I think Easter's, because it's outside, it's a perfect time to try. Case scenario, you take them to the playground until we come back. Like it's all good.
If you come and we we don't have to, we someone will take them, and the church is not huge. You can see, so you'll be able to see them. We have like a little breezeway that we can take them with some toys and some crayons, because we did used to have children's church, so we got some color. We got you. We got you.
We'll hook it up.
Yeah.
So before we get out of here, for both of you, I want to ask you, Kamala and Aaron, what advice do you have for people in your position, whether it's you're with somebody who might be transitioning, or for somebody who is transitioning or wanting to transition? What advice do you have?
I'll let you go first.
My main advice is to do what works for y'all.
Okay.
It is awesome to have people to inspire to, and I always tell people that it is okay to want what I have, but you cannot have what I got. And so you have to just do what works for you all, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to seek counseling. Have an open mind, and just an open line of communication. Look at other couples for inspiration, but do what works for y'all. What works for us may not work for y'all.
Okay.
Y'all may not work for us. So take the meat and spit out the bones.
I like that.
And Aaron?
So mine's not as profound as hers because it's just raw. One is, if you transition, you should not transition unless you are seeking a certified therapist. You should always, during your transition, you should always seek counseling at least once a month. In the beginning, maybe even more. For spouses, be involved, ask questions, be upfront with your feelings about the transition. Don't pretend it's okay and get in. Or if you're not sure, say, you know what, I'm not sure. I'm going to start the journey with you, but I want to be honest. I might not finish it with you. I think it is okay to be honest to those that are spouses. And then for those that are transition, like, it's your journey. Don't let anyone steal your peace. And if something gives you dysphoria, no one can invalidate how you feel. If you feel disrespected, you feel disrespected.
Exactly.
Race is not an excuse for disrespect, ever.
I love it.
That's good. I do want to have a question here to close out with, and this is for both of you. What is something that you will want people to remember you by?
I think that what most people would, and what I would be honored, is our authenticity, our willingness to be naked, vulnerable in front of others, to admit our wrongs, where we've gone wrong, which is why we don't have no problem celebrating when we're going right.
Yes.
because when it's wrong, and we don't hide when it's wrong. So we're not gonna play humble pie when it's right, because we worked to get here. And so we celebrate every day that it's right. So I would like for people to know that what you saw is what you get with those two. Good, bad, and indifferent.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. I think what people will probably know us for most, and maybe not on this show, but maybe you'll have us back, is what a lot of people don't know. I don't know how, because it was so public, is that our marriage survived infidelity, and we're not ashamed of that. I was the one who stepped out of the marriage, and really our relationship is a true relationship. Like, there are people that have been together forever. They're like, oh, it's perfect, nothing has ever happened. I can't really learn from them because we had some stuff going on. And that has given us the ability to help others save their marriage when things seem to be going wrong. Or it's given people the ability to reach out, to feel comfortable reaching out to a pastor that can say, hey, I was a fallen pastor. I made a mistake.
Yeah.
And reach out to me to help save themselves, because typically it's one thing to be to be a man or to be a woman who's found themselves in a situation, but when you're a pastor, who do you reach out to? Who do you lean on? Like, who can you tell in private and in secrecy and really be able to work through that? And so I am, although I think that I've certainly made some bad decisions, just like I was born to transition, I believe I was born to do everything that I've done in order to be that somebody that's brave enough to say, hey, I've messed up. Let me help you get out of this. Let me show you the right way to go. Let me show you that you're going down the wrong way. And so I hope that people will just remember me for being real and not being ashamed of the mistakes that I've made along the journey, even being a pastor.
Wow. There's no words. Thank you for that vulnerability. Thank you for that.
You guys have a picture that that you did a photo shoot. Y'all did a photo shoot, and you're topless. And it was an inspiring photo shoot, and really, I just want to thank you guys for getting naked with us and sharing your love transformed. Like I said, you all are a beautiful couple, and by golly, we're gonna go on and get this drink. I like some bourbon too, Aaron. Let's go ahead and I ain't gonna be competition because I'm gonna put my pinky up and be like this. So, we definitely want to have you back on the show. Share with us how we can find you online, and where we can find you.
So my handles are obviously on Facebook, Pastor Aaron Williams. Please, if you don't know me, do not request my Aaron Williams page because I won't accept you. Pastor Aaron Williams, you can go like that page. I'm on Instagram as well. I changed my handle for situations like this, and I can't remember. I had a personal handle, and my wife's like, and so anyway, I changed it. I can't remember what it is, but I'm on Instagram. But if you like me, like my page, Pastor Aaron Williams. You can also like the church page, Living Witness Family Worship Center. Either of those are ways to find me. And then Lotus Flower Project.
Yes, I am on Facebook and Instagram at The Lotus Flower Project. You can also find me at my website at thelotusflowerproject.org.
Awesome.
Support. Go to the boutique and try something on and see how it looks.
That's it.
This is what I want. If you see this, I need you to go to the boutique and take a video twirling in the center and post it on Rainbow Table Talk. That's what I need y'all to do.
That's what we need.
Well, we'll definitely have you all back on. This is the Rainbow Table Talk. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that good stuff. Guys, I thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a good evening.
You
You
too.
too. Good night.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye. All right, Kay. It's another one. I love you. Peace.